Hello and welcome to our final session in this e-conference where we're exploring the concepts of Universal Brotherhood. First of all, I would like to thank all of you for tuning in so far, and I promise you that we have one more final high-impact session wherein we will be listening to 3 different speakers. At the beginning of the last session, we were talking about this unique notion within the Vedic culture that there exists a diverse range of philosophies which, if you explore just one, you can understand the whole concept of universal brotherhood. However, in the ancient history, one of the first and most powerful places where all of these diverse philosophies were sewed together in a continuous seam of thoughts was in the Bhagwat Gita, and it explored the concept of universal brotherhood or Vasudhaiv Kutumbakam, and also explored the sacred concept of Yagya and the philosophy of Yagya. And so our first speaker today will speak to us about this highly enlightening perspective. And our first speaker is Shri Sandeep Kumarji. He is the current Dean of Student Welfare at DSVV. He was the previous registrar of DSVV for a period of 12 years where he handled all administration-related matters. A brief history and outline about him is that he joined the parent organization AWGP in 1986 as a volunteer, and he had graduated with a degree in the field of physics. He worked as a scientist and researcher for nearly an entire decade at the Brahmavarchasva Shodha Sansthan, which is a research laboratory that was established by Shantikunj for the continuous work of exploring scientific spirituality. And in fact, it is located just adjacent to the Shantikunj Ashram and very close to DSVV. And there he worked in various departments, and as well in Shantikunj, he worked in departments such as the Abroad Cell, the Electronic Media Department, as well as the Gayatri Vidya Peeth, which we explored earlier, is the school that's run through Shantikunj. Within DSVV, he has taught on a variety of subjects, including human development, personality refinement, scientific spirituality, and Yagya. And in fact, through the parent organization, he has traveled to numerous countries, whether it's the USA, Canada, and even in Europe, such as Norway, or in Africa, and also countries such in Asia, such as Thailand and Singapore. And so he offers a wide range of perspectives, and we are now very eager to hear from him and his enlightening views on the topic at hand. So please join me in humbly welcoming our first speaker for this session, Shri Sandeep Kumarji.
In subtle presence of Param Puj Gurudev and Paramandaniya Mataji, I would like to start my talk with a chanting of the Gayatri mantra. Om Bhurbhuvah Swaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Naha Prachodayat. Pranam to all, dear friends. I would like to start with the one of the quote of Swami Vivekananda ji, when he mentioned about the human being's purpose of the life and the goal to achieve. He mentioned in one place that to born in a church is a good, but to die in a church is not good. Means there is a goal ahead for every human being to achieve humanity in their life. We are there with the one religion, maybe in a Hindu religion, maybe in Christianity, Muslims, wherever we can born. It is by default we are there. But as a human being, we have to achieve something. And that achievement is very important. By Swamiji is saying that to die in a church is not good, means to go beyond all religion. That is the one thing. Here lies the very important aspect of the topic of our seminar, e-seminar. Universal Brotherhood. That means within our religion we have to grow and then manifest that humanity to understand each other's and our equality. Fortunately, in our religion, Hindu religion, we have the lot of sayings about these things. We had the very profound and deepest conception of the Universal Brotherhood, that is known as Vasudhaiv Kutumbakam. In initial stage of those researches in our rishis tradition, we had all those concepts. We know about that. We practiced in our life also about the Universal Brotherhood, Vasudhaiv Kutumbakam. World is like one family. Right now, at that time it may be not possible to connect with each other, but right now, in this scenario of the world, we are very much connected, we are very much close. So we should understand the value of this topic right now more profoundly, because it is not there that we in this scenario will be splitted. It is not possible at all also. So when we go back and see those things and references, Bhagwat Gita is a one that mentioned whole things about all those concepts of the how we will live together. It's very interesting in Bhagwat Gita when Lord Krishna talk about Yagya philosophy. In 3rd chapter he mentioned about all the rituals part of the Yagya, and then the 4th chapter all the philosophy of the Yagya. I am not going in detail of those in Bhagavad Gita mentioned, but very importantly, we should know about this Yagya concepts by Param Puja Gurudev Pandit Sri Ram Sarma Acharya ji is mentioned that these two are the major pillar of this whole world's existence. One is the Gayatri and another is the Yagya. Gayatri means the wisdom in the life and Yagya means the sacrifice. Yagya means the right deeds in the life. So to understand this too, it's very important. With the wisdom, we have to follow the Yagya philosophy in the life. And here lies the total, not it is the human brotherhood, not it is with the Universal Brotherhood means the only human beings should live together. It is not at all with the uniformity of the human beings, like we all will be like one, we have to follow the only one path. It is the ekam sadviprah bahuda vadanti. With different levels we have to manifest that brotherhood. In fact, it lies in the total existence. Total existence, when we will talk about that, means here the Lord Krishna says that we have to practice for these things 5 steps in the whole total Yagya. 5 Yagyas he mentioned about that. Initially he says about the Bhut Yagya. Bhut Yagya means to practice that these plants, creatures, all other things in this world is one. It is not at all, we are disconnected. Here with the ego center in our personality, we understand that we are the one, we are the superior as a human being, and these all plants and animals and other things, they have to only serve us for the human being. It is not like that. So understand that is the very important one, that they are also connected with us. Yes, jivasya bhojanam, we know about that. Only vital forces we can take from those plants also, with the other animals sometimes also. But here that connection is very important. With the humanity we should understand, we feel that yes, they have the feelings also, we have to connect with them. We know about one of the very good experiment in the America, one of the park in California, that is the Luther Banks Park. It's very interesting that Luther Bank was the man who totally practiced with all the plants that in their garden, roses have no thorns at all. Why? It is only because they emotionally connected with these plants. So Bhut Yagya means our connectivity with these plants and animals and other creatures should be very much profound. That Yagya means we have to take care of the whole Pariwar, whole environment. We have to take care of all things. It is not there that we as a superior can do anything and we will exist. Right now we have the challenges of this coronavirus. It is not because of any other things. It is because of that lack of the harmony in this total concept of understanding that the plants, animals and others, human beings, we all live together. So we have to follow that philosophy is very much essential. One part of that, Lord Krishna says that it is known as the Bhut Yagya. Another is the totally known as in Sanskrit we says that Bhut Yagya, after that Bhut Yagya is the, we say that Pitra Yagya. Pitra Yagya means that we have to respect the ancestors in our life. Ancestors are those, we follow their genetic characters also in the life. So with these genes and our personality, with the all goods and all bad deeds whatsoever, it's the karmas, we all have to carry in our life. So here that relation is very much important. That relation means we to understand that in this life we have to follow the path for this humanity to understand that we are the one. So Pitra Yagya means within our family we have to practice the Vasudhaiv Kutumbakam. In our small family, Gurudev says that the family is the laboratory of the whole world to understand. So in that we have to practice understanding between two other family members, each and other should respect each other's feelings and the thinkings. So many things we can care, share. That is the practice in our life known as the Pitra Yagya. When we understand and follow those things in our life and practices, we are with the philosophy of Pitra Yagya in our life. That is the second aspect of the Yagya. Third one is known as the Gyan Yagya or Rishi Yagya. Gyan Yagya or Rishi Yagya means those who already evolved in their life. They practice those oneness in the personality, those researchers and those who practice in their human body with this mind and the soul, so many things in their life, and understand the real purpose of the life and the real ways of the life. We have to understand their path. We have to know that these are the paths we have to follow in the life. This is the one part known as the Rishi Yagya or Gyan Yagya. Here, society is in a major front. We have to understand our responsibility for the society. So for the society, what we have to do, one is there, anybody is in a problem, we have to take care of that. Second is when someone is in a really emergency, we have to serve them as a human being. And some of the persons who have in their lower in the mind state, they are in a down conditions, we have to take care of them and get lifted for the things. Here, one thing is very important in this Gyan Yagya, that we have to take care of the society in the harmony. Harmony is the very important part. We have the different nature, we have different people's different thinkings, and to harmonize them is the one part in this Gyan Yagya. And the fourth one is the Dev Yagya. Dev Yagya is also a fantastic one. Here fourth Dev Yagya means beyond this earth there is also some powers and forces they are controlling. We know about that in the goods and the evils. We know about that in the Asurs and the Devas. In our scriptures, a lot is mentioned about the inconscient forces. Lot is mentioned about the divine forces. So we have to nurture those divine forces in our practices. We have to do some things as in Dev Yagya is the one part which is going to help whole humanity as a whole to get the blessings of the divine. And fifth one is the Brahma Yagya. Means here it's very important for a human being to understand that we grow in a ego self. We grow our personality in the ego self. But we are not for this ego self to die. We hear again this Swami Vivekananda saying is important, that here we should not be confined with our ego. Here we have to understand there is a divine within us. Every human being carrying in their heart one divine power. Divine forces is within our heart, is always there, wants to manifest. We with our doings, we with our heart, we with the love, we with the care, we with all those sentiments, we can grow that divine self in our heart. Definitely with that love only we will manifest brotherhood in this whole world, and that is the destiny of the world. I'm really thankful to you all who conducted this good seminar with this Dev Sanskriti University, particularly Yoga Vidya of the Germany, one of the greatest, biggest European yoga ashram. I would like to thank head Sukhdevji ji and regional head Vedmuti ji. Really, I'm appreciating you all for this good conduct of this seminar, and hopefully that will benefit all our viewers here in this university, and again in the Germany also, and as a whole world will really in this position to get another leaps in the step towards the Universal Brotherhood. Thanks all. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.
Thank you so much, Sandeep ji, for your enlightening perspectives on the Vasudhaiv Kutumbakam philosophy and the Yagya philosophy. Our next guest speaker is the Honorable Dr. Vedmuti Olaf Schonert ji, and to listen to him, we again virtually traveled to Germany. And so Dr. Vedmuti Olaf Schonert ji was born in 1964 and currently serves as the coordinator of 8 Yoga Vidya centers in Germany, and also serves as a board member. He studied business administration and worked for 16 years in different universities, wherein he rose through the ranks to assistant professor. He received yoga knowledge and training from respected Sukadev Bretji, who we just heard in the previous session. He's a teacher in yoga seminars and trainings since 2004. From 2012, he studied Vedanta systematically with James Schwartz. And since 2015, he has been teaching Vedanta courses in the Yoga Vidya non-profit organization, as well as business ethics at an applied university. And so we humbly invite him to share his perspectives, and his topic will be that of friendship and yoga and finding the right balance of virtues and values. And so we now invite Honorable Dr. Vedmuti Olaf Schonert ji.
To this talk, greetings from Germany. I want to share some thoughts about values and the current situation. The current situation all over the world is a big change and maybe a crisis for many people. In March 2020, all yoga centers and ashrams in Germany had to close. No gatherings in public were allowed, shops, airlines closed, all borders to neighbor countries were closed. Families couldn't meet in the same way as usual. This was an extraordinary event. Life in Germany has opened up already to some degree. The number of COVID-19 infected people is quite low. Please let me express a heartfelt compassion to the situation in India. At least in many parts, there are many infected people and the lockdown is quite strict with a lot of severe consequences. In no way I want to belittle these circumstances in India through my remarks. When I was thinking about a subject for the talk, the values came to my mind, because we have right now a seminar on the value of values here in Cologne, in Germany. In the Bhagwat Gita, chapter 13, verses 7 to 11, 20 values of a wise man are enumerated. These virtues together may be seen as knowledge jnanam, because the mind perfected with these virtues is a vehicle through which the seeker can easily reach his goal. The current situation can be seen as a test how far we perfected these values. If we do not live these values up to a special mark, then the mind will be out of balance and an emotional crisis may emerge. I want to proceed with a small analysis of some of these, in my opinion, important values in respect to the current situation. Let's begin with ahimsa. Ahimsa means causing no harm, neither by thoughts, nor by words, nor by deeds. Ahimsa is a value that needs understanding and interpretation. Does it make sense to feel hurt by the spread of the virus or lockdown? If I allow in me negative thoughts of feeling hurt, for example through anger or fear, then I hurt at least myself, but also the people around me. Analysis of the value of ahimsa suggests that it is better to cultivate positive thoughts and emotions because I otherwise hurt myself and others. Kshanti is a next value. Kshanti means calmly and gladly accept that behavior and those situations that cannot be changed. I asked myself, can I change the situation? As an individual or even organization, I cannot change the spread of the virus, the regulations of the government and also the consequences thereof. I can negate the situation and fight against it, or I can look for someone on whom I can project my anger. Does this make sense? My answer was no. When I calmly accept the situation, I see that every change has advantages and disadvantages. Although routine processes like yoga classes in the city centers or ashrams were not legal until the middle of May 2020, new possibilities became visible. For example, people were ready to practice yoga from home, or they were ready to participate in a yoga teachers trainings course via Zoom, so to take part online. The next value is dispassion towards sense objects. Indriyateshu vairagyam. When in this situation sense objects are not available anymore, I have the opportunity to reflect on that. If I can resist the temptation to find other pleasures to fill the gap, I can analyze how I emotionally depend on the object. Vairagya is a state of mind created by understanding that I do not depend on a sense object for my happiness. I can bring a little gap between me and the usual sensual pleasures. Next value is absence of craving for company, or arati jhana samsari. It is a simple love of quietude, because I love to be with myself, and therefore do not look for company. Although I love to be together with people, I can learn to appreciate to be with myself. This is a good preparation for the inquiry into the intangible nature of the self. Distance rules make it easier to cultivate this value. The distance rules created first a confusion because usual behavioral patterns don't work anymore. If we accept this challenge, we can find a new balance of closeness and distance in our relations to other people. This has also the potential to create a new balance in the value system. Strengthening spiritual values can lead to spiritual growth. What are the positive consequences? In our organization, different Indo-German Zoom groups to study weekly the scriptures were formed, and several online seminars on different Upanishads were conducted. Without traveling, for example, the teachers in Spain and students are situated all over the world. I personally had more time to study individually and to attend seminars to study the scriptures. These are some of the positive spiritual effects of the lockdown. When we think of the organizational level, when an individual cultivates somebody's friendship, it will grow to the benefit of both. Same applies to organizations. I appreciate it a lot that we cultivate the friendship between Dev Sanskriti Vishwavidyalaya, or Shantikunj, and Yoga Vidya. The first contact was through Dr. Tanu Varma. She was teaching in Germany at the Yoga Vidya Ashram. Together with her and my daughters, we visited the campus of DSVV and the Shantikunj Ashram in 2018. I will never forget the perfect hospitality and the formidable campus and the loving organization of everything. Last year, it was a big honor for us to welcome Dr. Chinmay Pandya for a short visit in Germany. And Narendra, the head of the ashram in Bad Meinberg here in Germany, visited DSVV to sign a collaboration agreement in 2019. Since then, we were in a constant contact, and now we are very grateful to be invited to this noble event. We appreciate that enormously. Like for individuals, the brotherhood between organizations will be of mutual benefit. In these times, it is important that individuals and organizations with similar spiritual values cultivate their friendship based on these values. This will strengthen these values and Dharma in general in modern societies. Spiritual organizations should show a path to deal with these circumstances based on the scriptures and the teachings of our masters. We can show that it is better to find a solution that is in harmony with Ishvara, the total, the order, Dharma, and the spiritual traditions. And doing this in social media makes it easier to spread this message. Cultivating these values prepare for a deeper understanding that everyone is facing these changes. We see the universality of the human problems in different organizations and countries. If we focus on the right values now and bring them to another level, we will grow in the situation. Brotherhood between like-minded people and organizations will strengthen this process. What is the conclusion of this? Living with an open mind reveals in every situation new opportunities. Cultivating spiritual values makes our mind clear and ready to reach a new level on the yoga path. Therefore, let's go on with cultivating brotherhood between our organizations and also between Germany and India. Thank you very much for listening. Best wishes. Bye-bye.
Many thanks, respected Dr. Vedmuti Ji, for your enlightening views and helping to connect the dots between friendship and yoga. Dear viewers, we have had quite the global journey today, and this journey now has one final stop remaining. And for this, we now travel back from Germany to DSVV in India to listen to our final esteemed speaker for today. Dr. Vedmurti Ji helped us to bridge the gap between friendship and yoga, and our final speaker today will help to bridge the gap between technology and Universal Brotherhood. And he is none other than Shri Abhay Saxena Ji from DSVV. He is the current Dean of the School of Technology, Communications and Management at DSVV, and he possesses over 28 years of experience in academia and industry. He has a bachelor's and master's degree in the field of computer science, along with a PhD in the subject of artificial neural networks. He worked at CS2K Solutions in New Jersey, United States, and Skyline Technology in Philadelphia, also in the US. He has helped to establish the Center of Excellence in Green Computing, and he has been invited as a keynote speaker at various conferences within India and also internationally. He has authored and co-authored more than 50 academic research papers and publications, ranging from topics such as the Internet of Things, artificial consciousness frameworks, artificial neural networks, and topics such as the impact of workplace spirituality on the technocrat's lifestyle. He also has 3 copyrights to his name and has supervised more than 7 PhDs, and he's a key figure within the DSVV family. And so now I humbly invite him for his talk on the topic of Universal Brotherhood, an Indiological approach to recode humanity.
Hello and good morning to everyone. I'm Professor Abhay Saxena, speaking from Sanskriti Vishwavidyalaya. Firstly, I'd like to extend my gratitude to my Honorable Vice Chancellor, Dr. Chinmay Pandya, who has given me this opportunity to speak in front of you. My topic is Universal Brotherhood, an Indiological approach to recode humanity. And before I start, I would like you to recite Gayatri mantra with me. Om Bhurbhuvah Swaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Naha Prachodayat. In the divine presence of my Almighty Guru Satta Pandit Shri Ram Sharma Acharya Ji and Paramandi Mataji, dear friends, we are on the virtue of pandemic, and where we are finding the things are moving not at the pace that we are supposed to. But still, I am a bit hopeful. Let me start with the Rigved mantra. Trimurdhanam saptrishim graniveshanunam agnim pitro rupasthite nishmatsasya charto dhruvasya vishwo divo rochanam privansam. As the 7 bright lights of the sun and the brightness of Agni always gives the warmness to each and everyone without discriminating anyone. Similarly, the people all from the globe who are a part of this conference, those who are in the comprehensive way to get this Universal Brotherhood conference, they may come together in the form of love, peace, harmony, and spread the nature of the world to as many people. So my point is what to see and what not to see. There may be people who are offering in as many ways, but the bottom line is what to see. That is important, because there may be people who believe on the rightist side of the coin. There on the other hand, there are people who looks to be on the second side of the coin. But as we talk about the humanity, as we talk about the brotherhood, as we talk about the love, peace and harmony, our vision should be something like this, that we must have a right vision. Why I am saying so? I am taking the next slide. The side effect of differential equation. The whole humanity is being divided into, we all know mathematics and we all know differential equation, divide and conquer, divide and conquer. But this divide is rather making us to move away from the humanity. When I said this, that is the fractured vision. or maybe a fractured word with a defected vision. So when we said defected vision, that means the vision is being based on the emotions, sentiments and belief. Whatever I say is right, that is not true. The other can also be right. This must be the thought of the people. And when we say it, that means the vision should be always in oneness with the humanity, with the peace, with the brotherhood. Now the question is, we have to integrate principle. What is the integration? If you look out for the color of a blood, or if you need a blood, then you won't cry that I need a white blood, or I don't want to take any black blood, or it's a blood color is red, and that's it. So being a part of a humanity with the blood can integrate. If you need an organ, you never say that I don't want the organ, don't want the organ of a particular person. I want organ, and that is important. Similar is the achievements, innovations and research. When you say innovations and research, that means that if you are likely to come out with a certain set of innovation, then it is for all. It is not for a particular kind of a segment of a particular humanity. No, it is innovation for all. So the need of the hour is universal brotherhood. Vishwabandhut, that's what the word is very rightly. In this night stood a brotherhood of light, with raised their wills and armored to fight. Now the question is, in this night, we are passing to the COVID-19 area, where all the humanity, all the mankind, all the world is just finding the thing different. But what we have a will to fight it out. We have a wish to make it big. So that's what the concept of the universe is. Whatever the Panchbhuta we are having, this from this microcosmos to macrocosmos, the journey is eternal in nature. And when we say that microcosmos to macrocosmos, that means the consciousness need to be elevated. When I said it that I want to bring my Puja Gurudev Pandit Shri Ram Sharma into this vision, what he said that awakening of collective consciousness is very important. It's just as we said in the Gayatri month, idam namamam. This is not mine, this is ours. And when we move from this part to that part, then only we are likely to feel that whole globe is a big family. And we all know in the computing, being a professor of computing, I always talk about the concept of entanglement. We all know that in the quantum computing there are two quantum bits. Although they are apart from each other, but they can make a direct impact on one and another. They can change the properties, they can make a different vision of the particular bits. Now we are talking about the humanity. So we all know what is an osmosis. The heavy materials pulls out the things. And when we are the people who are likely to lead the society, there needs to be addressed this situation correctively, effectively, and it is all the vision of entire humanity. It's not a matter of me, it is not the matter of I must be converted into the we, and when we is converted to all, then only the purpose of humanity is likely to be served. When we said the larger family, in Bhagwat Geeta it is very rightly said, aham sarvasya prabho mata sarvam pravartate iti matva bhajante mam buddha bhava samanvita. That means this whole world is being imitated from the Lord itself, and those who are perfect in wisdom, those who can understand this beauty, they only can address the thing properly. So we have to understand that this entire world is came out from the entire Lord itself. So when we say these all the things, there is always a thought whether we need it or whether we have a greed. Like my need is someone's greed and someone's need is my greed. So we have to differentiate. जो प्राप्त है वो पर्याप्त है. When you know these things, that whatever you have is enough, and that's the limit you have to design of. So as I said in the previously, as I told you in the starting itself, we have to recode the humanity, because the human soul needs to be reformed. When we said coding, that means the coding of love is being important. When you say that I love my father, so you cannot differentiate into the percentage, 10% of my love is for my father. No, you love wholeheartedly. When you code with the help of peace, you cannot say that the peace is likely to be resolved in my house. Entire society is being burning and you are just needing the peace of your home. It's not likely to serve the purpose. So the question is how to harmonize yourself, Harmonizing starts with the self, then you harmonize with the society, then only you can harmonize with the nation or with the cosmos or with the entire world. This is how the satisfaction arises in the soul. Satisfaction of the self, satisfaction of the society. Look at the beautiful brotherhood in the Ramayana. The story of 4 brothers. One who went to the exile because of his father. The second one followed him for his safety. The third one who had the kingdom, he said, no, it's not belongs to me, it is my brother. And the fourth one took it and he just maintained the decorum for the 14 years. This is how the love of brotherhood is likely to be involved into this world. When I said to the role of intelligentsia, it is important because we have to redefine the humanity. We have to integrate the human values and we have to respect for all the living beings apart from the caste, creed or any discrimination. And then you have to bind the emotions with the selfless service. That means seva parmo dharma. If you want to do service, there should not be any effort, but do the service from wholehearted. And I'd like to emphasize more on the texts because we are likely to deal with the pupils who are coming into the coming scenarios. They must possess the intelligence, must possess the scientific vision with the spiritual wisdom, the knowledge with the experiments, and this is how the things are likely to be happening. As an individual in this pandemic, the role is very important. Be a big B. You cannot reach to as many people, but you can become virtual big B. And secondly, you should be positive in all the odds. Being a part of this conference, being a member of this particular community from Sanskriti Vishwavidyalaya, we just want to say that Universal Brotherhood Conference should be in horizon with the, you can hear that God is also so happy in this particular moment, as we can hear lots of thundering happening, and then this is how the Swasti month should be, that sarve bhavantu sukhna, sarve santu niramya, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma kashchid dukh ma bhavet. In this world, everyone should be happy, everyone should have peace, and the role of intelligentsia should be defined. Then only we can say that Universal Brotherhood is not a matter of me or mine, it is a matter of concern for all. So thank you very much from Sanskriti Vishwavidyalaya, and may we all have the peace, prosperity and better living environment. I would like to extend my gratitude to the organizer of this e-conference on Universal Brotherhood, obviously my parent university, Sanskriti Vishwavidyalaya, and the Yoga Vidya Germany, which is the European biggest yoga ashram, the prominent Professor Sukhadev Ritz, who is likely to take this particular opportunity. I must extend my gratitude to him also. So in all, thank you very much for your kind help.
Our deepest gratitudes to you, Sri Abhayji, for sharing that powerful message. And so this now brings us to our conclusion of this session and the conclusion for today's event. Our e-conference has come to a fertile genesis, as many ideas for continued collaboration and cooperation have been seeded. Our theme of Universal Brotherhood was embraced by all of our esteemed speakers as reflected in their thought-provoking messages. We are deeply indebted to all our panelists and are extremely honored to have hosted all of you today. Where do we go from here, might you ask? We need to continue to water and nourish the seeds of thought that have been sown by our esteemed speakers, and also need to make a humble attempt to action those thoughts in our own personal lives. And so at this time, on behalf of Sanskriti Vishwavidyalaya and the Yoga Vidya Ashram, we wish you all the best and success in your future endeavors, and we humbly request you to stay connected with DSVV and the Yoga Vidya Ashram in the following ways: by visiting their websites, by following them on their various social media platforms such as Facebook and Twitter, and by sending any questions or queries that you might have to both of these institutions. And so with that, thank you once again, and pranam.